We're talking about it in the context of like a meet and greet a second ago.
Yeah.
What you said there tracks perfectly with that, which is when you walked in the room, you didn't just speak to me, you also asked Berta, who's recording the podcast today, what her name was. And then you said to Berta, you said, thank you for doing this.
Right.
Now, isn't it funny that I remember?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that was like 2.5 hours ago? And I remember because it was really memorable to me that you did that, because not everybody does that. Yeah. Not everybody will, notice that Berta's in the room with us and she's running all these cameras and she's putting it together. But for some reason, just before we started recording, you made a point of asking her what her name was and then thanking her for doing this today.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that.
Isn't that funny?
And as you walk away from today, I'm not going to remember like that you walked in and said something nice about me or whatever.
Right.
The most shocking thing, and therefore the most memorable, because it is the most unusual, because it is typically the most overlooked, is you acknowledging the other people.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this as a paradox that I almost need to put words to. But I remember in something I wrote a long time ago saying how useless absurdity will define you more than useful practicality. And what I mean by that is the example I was giving was in the context of my old gym where they have this massive climbing wall in the entrance. And I came home to my girlfriend and said, there's this incredible gym. It's massive. They even have a 100-foot climbing wall in the entrance. What I'm doing is I'm pointing at the most absurd thing to give you a shortcut that tells you everything about that gym. Now, if I point at the most absurd thing, you know the gym is big.
Oh, I got chills. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So good, yes.
If I say there's a 100-foot climbing wall, you know there's lots of running machines.
Right.
So if I when I leave here and go, he was so nice, he even spoke to Berta and thanked her for doing the podcast,